think that the average black man is not going to be able to date someone from a foreign country, being as though we have language barriers and cultural differences. Most black men don't have the education required or the character and mannerisms to actually appeal to the families of these foreign women they want to date. No, I am not against interracial dating. I believe that people should date who they want to date, who they genuinely love. But the biggest problem with black men is that you get on a social media and you talk to the world about what you think and what you feel, and you actually believe that other races of women do not see you. This is an international conversation. Most of social media can see you. That includes women of other countries. So when you complain about your own race of women to a bunch of women whose men protect them, and they see that you don't protect your women, they're not going to want to date you after that. I promise. At least with black women, when we go date outside of our race, we know that these men have a level of respect for their own race of women. So 9 times out of 10, they'll probably take decent care of us, unless they start listening to you, believing that we are only playthings because we're black, which then presents another problem. Another problem for black men that says you are the creators of hatred, vitriol, misogyny, patriarchy, or any other negative attribute that encourages you guys to continue to oppress or disrespect women. So no matter how hard you try, you will continue to be part of the problem. So I encourage you to do a level of self-reflection to be sure whether or not you are actually harming yourself and everyone around you, regardless of color.
We have so many bad examples. When it comes to the African American community, I feel that the reason why I'm in a position of how I treat my kids is because I don't want to do what my father did. He was definitely absent inside the home, going to prison and out of prison. So I was raised by my mom. I knew that I wanted a father in my life, but at the same time, I saw my mom go through different relationships. So I didn't understand stability. The role today is that we have no example. A lot of the kids are being raised by single moms, and I didn't want to have that for my son. I wanted to be there, make sure that not only do I show him the responsibilities of a man, but showing him love, compassion, knowing that I love him, I care about him, embracing him, hearing his voice and spending time with him, because that was a lot of things that I was missing as a young kid.
Housing security in the U.S. since the pandemic is on track to become a crisis, and black women are being affected the most by it.
Cookies are tagging me in this post like it's not a simple explanation, which is y'all name are not on leases in order to get evicted. So of course you can't be included in this study. When your mama kick you out, Pookie, those numbers are not going to be included in this study. A lot of y'all are felons. You can't even lease nowhere, right? So a lot of y'all have black women putting their name on leases just for you to be able to live there. Credit bad, can't pass the income verification. So you need black women to put their name on the lease just so you can live there. And some of y'all live in these places that are being evicted with said black women that you don't even help pay bills at. So you helped her get evicted, right? Let's really talk about the study if you want to talk about the study. Of course, white women's numbers will be lower because they actually got white men providing and helping them pay bills, if not paying all the bills. But Pookie, you're just somewhere living and freeloading, and you don't have your name on a lease in order to get included in this study, Pookie.
I just figured it out. The reason why men listen to other men who fail with women talk to you about women is because those men are failing with women too. So what they do is they get together and make excuses and make each other feel better for failing. They tell each other it's not your fault that you have issues with women. It's because of the women. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's not your fault. And it's not my fault either. I just broke down the entire red pill in the manosphere in about 35 seconds. You're welcome.
I would like to take this time to talk to the Passport Boys. And if you are unfamiliar with who I'm referring to, these are the brothers who have made it a point to go outside the country to find wives because American black women are just too difficult to deal with. They won't submit, etc., etc. First thing I want to ask is, why? You do realize women outnumber men 3-1. I believe there's 170 million women in the country of America. So you mean to tell me out of all 170 million, you can't find one American woman that is going to give you what you want. With all the dating technologies, with all the dating apps, with the technology, with the internet, you mean to tell me you can't just go across state lines and find you a wife? And second of all, it really doesn't sound like you're going overseas to find love. It seems like you're trying to go overseas, find a woman that you think is dumb, train her up and groom her to be a submissive housewife so you can walk all over her. It doesn't really sound like you're looking for a wife or a love. It sounds like you're looking for a slave that just does whatever you tell her to. But I want to let you guys in on a few things. I watch 90 Day Fiancé religiously. Love the show. Love the show. And one thing I see on 90 Day Fiancé is that when the people go overseas and they find love and they bring them over here, it doesn't happen just like that. They may be able to get them over here, but they may not be able to keep them over here because that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of paperwork. Do you have that much time to spend on somebody? And let's say you go through all that and you make it through the other side and she's officially an American citizen and y'all can get married. There's no guarantee she's going to stay here. There's always a chance that a law might get passed where she could get deported. Also, let's say you go over there. Let's say you want to go over there because you fell in love with their country. You do also, again, realize that you're going to have to abide by the customs of that country. You have to throw away all your American shit out the window because in some cultures, they don't believe in PDA. So you can go get a kiss from your wife outside if you want. You might get shot in the face. Also, in some countries, the father gives their daughter away to a man. And the man who wants to marry that woman has to pay a fee. And you don't know what their currency might add up to in $1 million. It may cost like 500 kugels in whatever country you're from, but that might equal out to 50 grand in America. Do you have 50 grand? Also, the way you guys talk about women on TikTok, y'all do realize those foreign women hear you, right? TikTok is not just in America, it is an international thing. And those international women that you want so bad, they hear how you talk about women and how stupid and how ignorant you sound. So do you think they're going to want you? Are you willing to take that L to get rejected in more than one country? And last but not least, there's no guarantee that that person is going to be with you for the right reasons. How do you know that that person just doesn't want a green card to get into America? These are all the things I suggest you guys think about before you guys rush to other countries because you're just sick of black women. That is all.
I'm probably going to catch a lot of heat from the fellas for this one. I don't think a lot of guys really want to be husbands. I think they just want to prove a point. I think a lot of guys use marriage as a way to affirm their masculinity in the same way that we do with sex. And you can throw aggression in there with that same line of masculine expression. I don't think we truly grasp the full scope of what it means to be a husband. I definitely think men need an overhaul of learning when it comes to the ideas of power and leadership. Because for the most part, men want to show, look how well I can provide. Look at this woman that I'm able to have sex with whenever I want. Look who wears the pants in the family. And the catalyst is a misplaced ego that was long misplaced as a child. First and foremost, let's understand that masculine egos are not fragile, but we too often leave it exposed to the perfect instruments of destruction. We leave our egos and masculinity to be built or destroyed by feminine opinion. We let money dictate our overall value. We willfully put our egos in a position to be out of our hands and outside of our control, and we demand that those that hold on to it treat it like we would. It is such an unrealistic expectation, but it is extremely common. So to be as manly as possible, we never back down from fights, we overwork ourselves, we're constantly looking for a woman's attention, and we end up chasing something that we already are. We're chasing a list of standards based on what everyone else thinks a man is and not exploring the men that we are. So we demand submission in order to affirm our dominance, not because we want to lead effectively. We're obsessed with money because having money is how we prove that we are providers. And so the more money we have, the more of a provider I am. You being my wife means that I get sex anytime I want, not necessarily the need for an emotional connection all the time. We ask women if they can cook and clean because it's one of those little things that we just don't want to do. Some men actually view women as secretaries, assistants, maids, and babysitters. Many women have stories of men divorcing their wives once they become physically disabled because they can no longer cook or clean. Far too many women have stories of being left during the pregnancy. I'm talking wives. And it's usually all because they're not getting the same attention as they were before. A lot of us keep talking about marriage and don't even understand what we're asking for when we get down on one knee. How much do you value being a husband? How much value does the position of a wife hold with you? These are questions that need answers long before you even consider giving a ring.
You want to know what's crazy? Is when we come from other countries or other islands or other places, we're taught not to date the African American man. And why do you think that they have us not do that? So I was watching a video not too long ago where a guy mentioned that the Indian dude was dating nothing but sisters and then married an Indian woman. The gentleman asked him, hey, why did you date the African woman and marry an Indian woman? The Indian man simply said, hey, your women are playthings. And we use them for such because they're easy access and they're not protected like our women are protected. So that made the gentleman hot and pissed off about some things. Now, what gets me is that is the same reason why a lot of times our parents teach us not to date African American men. Because when I first got here, it's overly sexualized. The men don't protect the women. Hell, a lot of them don't even want to open the doors, let alone have a decent conversation. A lot of times back home, men are men still. They still know how to worship the African woman. They still know how to love on us. They still open doors. They still are asking you for your phone number. If you want me to be in my divine feminine energy, why are you putting me into masculine energy? Meaning, why are you giving me the phone number to call you and chase you? That's a masculine trait. Why are we being asked to provide if you want us to put us in feminine energy? That's a masculine trait. Why are you asking us to show aggression with certain things in life? Like in, would you stop crying? Suck that shit up. Man, I ain't dealing with all them emotions. But you still want us to work in our feminine. Let me tell you something. Now, our African goddesses have been thrown the hell off too. And have been imbalanced as hell. So where this is another reason why spiritually why women are getting fibroids, cysts, BV. And we have to be smart enough to hold each other accountable because hell, y'all so busy trying to fucking suck everything and eat and snack shows and do the most. How about we heal our people for once?